Yeah.
Okay, we're starting right now with.
Oh yeah.
So now, once you check the volume balancing number on each link are matching, then the next one is your intersection delay. So just make sure all the intersection delay are matches. All the intersection delay matches between base file and other compared file. Then you do a level of service. Your levels of service should match between the files, and then your ICU should match. So now we are done with map toolbar, we are done with node toolbar. We're gonna go to the link toolbar. In link toolbar, it shows the link properties. So when I click on, let's say show link speed, it should show me the link speed, which is like here, say 30 miles an hour. And then if I go to the coordinatability factor, it should show me the coordinatability factor. So coordinatability factor will be shown the intersection which are coordinated. So let's see, this intersection coordinated, so 79 is the factor, right? So it should match.
So let me ask you,
and then show natural coordinates.
Are we gonna just how in here do you pick a certain piece of the map? Are we just gonna always go to the middle of the map and sort of?
I think helicopter, and then just take a picture. You know, hit the helicopter.
What was that?
Helicopter just brings up.
Or sorry, no, the zoom and then zoom all. Zoom all, and then hit the button to show whatever.
So it should match it.
So no matter where it is, you're just going to zoom all the way
out. It's a network level test.
So there could there be places that could just. Are we going to just do this on this one file? Is it hard coded to this one file?
I mean, it could be tested on any file.
It has to be tested on all the files.
All the files.
Yeah.
Technically. Just like
so there could be there could be some cases where we zoom in, it's just a green screen because like the road may go off the screen.
No, we shouldn't zoom in. I think that the resolution is good enough to where if we do full network, we're getting all the numbers.
But his point is in some maps, like there's one isolated intersection here and one isolated there.
Yeah, are you saying zoom all the way out? Well, dude, if you zoom out, man.
No,
aren't these going to be, dude? Zoom all the way out on this map. You're not even seeing any numbers. It's going to be so big. Really? Go zoom out as far as you can.
You cannot see the number, right? You cannot see the number.
That's true, right? I didn't think of that. Okay, it's because we get that road going way out west.
Maybe you can zoom into a.
It makes more sense to zoom all the way
into one intersection at a time.
One intersection. So because just think of the file. Okay, we have network level, then we have intersection 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So if we're doing it on the intersection level, we're going to have to do it the same thing on all the intersections, or we're going to have to do it on network level. This seems like we're going to have to do it on all the intersections.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, why you
the
test these
on a network level, but in order to actually capture the results, we got to be drilled down on.
No, hold on, guys. To test this function, why do you have to have a vast network? You can have 2 intersections, 4 intersections. That's it.
No, say you give us another file tomorrow that has 2 isolated intersections into really spaced out. Then we got that's the scenario we are thinking about.
Test Complete has to know where to go.
How do you test?
Coded to go somewhere. So we're trying to figure out: are we going to take the approach of always just do the functionality to zoom all the way out and do a screenshot? That's not good.
That's not good. Yeah.
If you zoom all the way in, well then we may zoom out everything.
If you think about it, these things are covering basic numbers, and those basic numbers are going to be the same for. I mean, the majority of files aren't this large.
Well, I like what you were saying, Akash. Will it work if if we're doing it by intersection and you click the helicopter and you go to it, does it default go to just a whole area of that? Does it put it in the middle?
Isn't it like you can zoom into
Josh, like just randomly choose any, go to helicopter and choose any of them.
So you're thinking hard coded to where it chooses the first intersection.
No.
And then zoom in.
How would it have been zoomed in by default?
What?
Like when the
file zoom in.
Even if you pick it, does not zoom in.
Zoom into road number 54.
Yeah,
it does not zoom in.
It loads zoomed out.
Like if it's going by helicopter, it would not zoom in.
So we still have to find a way to zoom in.
It would not zoom in. Like check what happens.
It takes you to that.
Yeah. No, what happens is it brings it to the center, right? Then
it brings to the center, then you zoom in manually.
Okay.
So if you at that point,
check what happens. See.
Yeah, but then what if you have 2 intersections out here? You're zooming into green.
What?
If you have 2 separate intersections and you do a full and then you just zoom straight in, you're not going to be around.
No, if you select it from that helicopter,
you
it brings it to the center.
He's saying that once you select on it, it goes to. We'll try it. Go to the middle intersection. Go to helicopter.
Let's say I'm in zoom out, right?
Yeah.
And now I will go helicopter.
Go to
let's say what is the I want to zoom in here, right? Let's say what is the intersection node
Yeah,
ID.
but all this is the test can't do all that, so you have to do it very simply.
He's
from
just
what the
trying to
test-
find an example real quick to know which one he's gonna click on.
Oh.
Like you found one that you like, gosh.
Uh-huh.
I guess my point is that like.
So node 23, right?
Yeah. Okay,
Let's say
so-
I will zoom into the node 23, right? I will go
I mean, the test
helicopter.
isn't going to be able to do that.
No, I'm saying if we're gonna do one, if it's gonna be at the network level. I mean,
it's
no,
gonna-
I'm at the
Node 23, right?
Node level.
So right now I'm going to zoom
We
out
can't
to the
select.
network level. 1 second. Right now I'm zoom out to the network level.
It's
If
not
I
gonna
zoom
be
into the
going to
23,
arena.
what it does?
Yes,
Check.
you-
23 is here.
okay.
23 is here.
You do that.
You're saying
No,
nothing.
Nothing.
Now
It,
what
is, it
happens?
didn't even bring to the center.
No. What if you hit zoom? Now, what if you hit the zoom in button 5 times? Does it bring you over?
No,
to
no,
the-
no, no,
That
no,
doesn't
no,
work
no.
either, so-
It's
It
a
hits
it's
the
a terrible
bounds.
it's a terrible tool
Yeah,
if you ask me.
it's broken.
Normally helicopter it should zoom
It
that
should do that.
to that level. You should be able to see it
I think it
comfortably.
did. I think it did in 8 because I was messing with that tool the other day, like
Yeah.
well, a couple months ago. But I remember the helicopter when I was working on that zoom issue. This is when I
Yeah.
encountered that. I think it's broken. But for this test, we could accomplish enough to get us through this if we did the following. The test is a network level test. However, it just selects the first node in that list. So it does one node per file. It gets enough numbers because we're looking at like
Not
sync.
necessarily, because like you saw the coordinability factor, it doesn't apply to
the what?
unsignalized. Like there's some
Coordinability
metrics
factor
that don't apply at all, like
to apply
Well-
doesn't apply to where.
like
There's-
unsignalized. or
Then it's either
non-applied.
that. Then it's either that or do it on every node. You know, to every node that's
How do you
defined in the
select-
file.
Yeah, you
But we
select
still don't know how
five.
to zoom into it right now.
Well, yeah, we do. We do the select node. I mean, we can do that.
But we just saw it doesn't work.
No, not that way. We have the select node function within the test complete. So basically, the test complete lands on this. Forget the network level anything. It lands on that node. It pulls that node number. It calls the select intersection function. Then it compares these numbers, and it does that for every node that's listed in the Excel file in the CSV. You see, we would be taking it from a network level test to a node level test. So it covers
Well,
every node.
well, I mean, the other ones are looking at grids. Like he's talking about.
Shouldn't the heat up?
map.
I think it's cold now. It
Select
should
the
be in the
intersection.
red.
Take a picture of the intersection after selecting.
Is it red or blue?
We do that already.
Blue? Yeah, it should be red.
Click what's
All right, let me see the mouse real quick.
Because I'm seeing that it's not working.
Okay, so the test complete, I forget exactly what it does to select the
He
intersection,
gets the
but
helicopter and it goes.
it does, right? Okay. So
And it drops out
it
the
goes
box, doesn't it?
zone, or what does it do? Are you sure it does the helicopter first of all?
Yeah.
It bring. I mean, I use a hotkey.
Yeah.
F12.
And that brings up
yeah.
the helicopter.
Yeah.
So, but then what does test complete do? It chooses the drop down
That's
box.
different. That's different.
So that one worked. Let's go through them and make sure it works. 'Cause, I mean, this has got to be
Wait,
working.
wait,
on the test.
Akash, how does it select it in here? Does it
Yeah.
do the drop down?
Yeah, from the drop down. Well, wait, what?
How does it select node 12?
It does it through the helicopter.
No,
and-
actually, hang on. There's a search. Actually, if you go back to the helicopter, there's a node.
Click the helicopter button and then what does it do?
Search for.
And then it puts that
number
node in,
50.
right.
Okay, so go
Okay.
ahead and type 13 and hit OK. Is this what test complete does?
Yeah, this is exactly what
it
it
does.
does.
It does.
I remember seeing that box get populated actually.
13.
Let's do 13.
13.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay, so the problem I think is that when we're zoomed out all the way, it can't hover over it because it hits the bounds of the network. So if we could just make the test zoom all the way in.
Are you sure about that? I mean,
No, I mean, but this
Can you
it
zoom
looked
out?
like what it. Yeah, sure. I mean, it looked like that's
Because
what
if
was
it
happening.
opens like this, we're in trouble. So yeah, you're right. We have to.
All right.
We have to add when you open a file. We have to zoom all the way.
So this was
We have
where
to add that to
this
the
was
open.
where he was zoomed out to about. I think it was like right there, and then he
He
selected it
zoomed
didn't
out.
work.
Right.
So let's go there now.
Let's do 13. Oh, search.
Just do 13.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
actually,
because it hits the bounds of the network and it can't.
Really?
So
That's
if,
weird.
as long as we just add it to the procedure, you have to zoom all the way in.
Let's actually do that because I just want to see what happens. Okay.
No, I mean the
So watch
current
that. So
test-
like if it goes file open and it opens this file, and then the first thing that it does, we're just gonna do this like 1, 2, 3, 4,
Wait,
5, 6, 7,
the
8,
select
9,
intersection,
12.
the select
Then-
intersection already works.
Then we're gonna no. I'm talking
No,
about
it
zoom
doesn't.
in first.
I know,
Then
but
we
it,
go
it,
here.
it already does zoom in. Like it already does somehow.
Oh, you know what's
It
happening?
does.
It's doing the zoom level what your
It's-
current zoom level is. It's entering it at the say you're 12 down. It's gonna bring it to the center of your current zoom level. So if you're way high up, it's gonna actually still try to bring it in bounds, but because you're so high up, it doesn't seem like you're in the center. You see what I'm saying? Like, let me
I'm
explain.
just
Let me
saying,
explain.
does
Let me
Test
explain.
Complete have any functionality to zoom in and out?
Can we just look at the code for
So
selected
I think this will work. Actually, is like you said. Let's zoom in to.
Yeah, zoom
What I
in.
do is actually do a 25, which is like really just.
So you have it coded in to go to a zoom
I have.
level of
Okay,
25?
so if
I
you're
have,
doing
like,
that, then we don't
I
have to
have-
worry about this
I
because
have,
we
like-
can just call select intersection and take a picture. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay, that was my point. Is that we already have this done.
Cool.
So just curious, how does your code zoom in?
That's
how,
what I was
how do you
curious.
programmatically?
Mouse. I just keep going
In,
in
out,
and
out.
in. Yeah. I keep going in 25 times. That's the max. That I mean, I made that number up
So you just go
25.
1,
but
2, 3,
yeah,
4, 5,
exactly.
6, 7,
And it works
8,
solid
9,
because
10,
every
11.
map
Because
is at
once you
the same
select
zoom
it,
level.
yeah, once you select it,
Okay, gotcha.
or I do the zoom and then I select, so it's always like the same predictable node that I'm looking at.
Okay, so
Throw them off.
so my point is that all we have to do is if you just say
Is your camera off on?
It's still on.
all you'd have to do for these is be like it doesn't matter about the sync or anything. Just imagine what you're bringing up on the screen is going to be compared from one version to the next. So you don't have to go into detail on any of the metrics or math or anything.
The only other thing
We're
I
gonna take a
don't like
screenshot and a screenshot.
Is it? But you do see how much is cut off when you're zooming.
Yeah, especially on the links, you won't be able to capture
All the
in
numbers.
between.
Well, you guys can decide later, like how to do it. But, anyways, I'm gonna keep moving.
We can adjust the zoom level if we're something. Too.
So now the next functionality is like after the coordinatability factor, you check coordinatability, show natural coordinatability factor. Again, you match the same number on the link with the other file, and then you go to the show link length. That's the length of the link. You test that, and then this is the DST distance. I don't even know what is DST.
link distance in feet, right?
No, it's in second actually.
Yeah, it's I think the
It's probably
speed
like
or how
based
much
on the speed and length, like how much it would it take to travel it.
time taken.
Not really.
Hover over.
I don't think so.
DST.
That's it. It's 642, 30.
Oh no, it's the looks like that's the taper length.
Hmm?
Hover over DST, the icon. Show
Link distance, speed, travel time on map. Okay. So it's showing three things. It's showing link distance, it's showing speed, and travel
Makes
time on
sense.
map. So this is the first is link distance, second is speed, third is travel time.
That makes sense.
Okay. DST.
So we were all right.
Yeah.
So now I will turn the link toolbar off. This is test state. Then turn the link movement toolbar. In link movement toolbar, you just show arrows, so it should match the number of arrows, which is show arrows, lane arrows on map. And then next is volumes. It should
So-
match. So this volume should also match with the other map, or also should match with the volume setting window. Then your adjusted volume should match with the other file, or also should match. If you go to the volume setting window, here is your adjusted volume calculated right here. And then your show is start of green. So right now this is unsignalized.
So basically, we're gonna click across that whole bar and just screenshot, and compare it to the old version.
So show start of green. So right now I'm showing start of green. It's 1956. So then show start of yellow. So I think it's showing when the green time starts, when the yellow time starts, and then maximum green time is allocated. Because you can always go timing setting and see it. What is the maximum green time, allocated to that. So that's reduce your yellow and red time. So that should match with the other file. And then your show percentile VC ratio. That's your VC ratio. And then your movement delays. Then your level of service for each approach. And that's your phasing, which approach is assigned to which phase. And there you're done with your lane movement toolbar. Now the last toolbar is AC 2010 toolbar, which nothing more than then your ACM intersection delays, then you go to level of service. Your in ACM toolbar there's a node 1 toolbar, lane movement. Then it defines the lane movements, which is your VC ratio for each movement, and then your delays for each movement, and then level of service. So this was the last toolbar, and once you're done, then we are almost done with everything in Synchro except the SimTraffic. And to test the SimTraffic, we launched the SimTraffic button. It asks for the changes, say yes, and launches the SimTraffic. Wait, Patrick.
Do we really want to say yes to that? I don't think we do.
You have to save. Not really.
Because then we'll,
So
then we're
whatever the
modifying
changes you
it.
made, if you said no, the changes will be
gone.
yeah. But it will launch SimTraffic.
And I have another question too about SimTraffic. You know, with SimTraffic, we essentially want all the numbers to match the same. So, am I correct in saying that we want to do a recording before we run a baseline and a compare?
Yeah. So
And
what
then-
you do in SimTraffic, this is what I'm gonna do. So right now, as a default, it recorded for 10 minutes.
Mhm.
So the very first thing I go to the option, I go internet volume, I hit 60 here. Can you hit
Okay.
60?
Yeah.
It's slow. Okay.
Wow.
And then hit OK. And then after that, I record it. So this is my record. So once I record it, but actually we may want to test for multi-run too.
You should.
What's
Yeah.
multi-run?
You can run up to 5 runs.
But so, and that's really where I was going with that. Is that there's a certain random aspect that's in each of these runs, and
Yeah,
so
it
the
takes
numbers
hard-
are not going to compare right. So we're going to have to be knowing where to block off numbers that are going to be different on the screen. Because when we do that
It will
comparison,
compare because it does seed number is randomly, or is it like because the very first seed number is always
can
one.
we give it a seed number?
Yeah, you can give a seed number.
So we'll
It's
just
either
see.
very
So we'll
defined.
see with 200, then 300, then 400, then 500. That'll be hard coded. So then we should get the same result.
Actually, repeat 0 and 10. 1 and 10.
I was like 1 through 10.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So there's
So-
a seed number you can give, but you cannot define seed number for which run takes which seed number. I don't think so.
You can.
Oh, where you define?
So you go to multiple. When you go to record, see the starting number.
But what is the second number too? So it's always like a ascending order.
A sequence.
I'm not sure.
That's what I'm saying. So you have to verify this
Well,
thing.
let me ask this one more question. So if I run a 60-minute simulation with a starting number of 1, and then I do the exact same run again with a starting number of 1,
The result should be same.
it should be the same.
But when we do the multi-run, does it show which seed number was it?
Because you have to change the seed number to make that value for it.
I don't know. You'll have to-
So let's do one thing. So once you pull the simulation, let's do the. I'm thinking, should we make a test for the multi-run, or should we make a test just for one?
Probably just one.
Start one. We can actually build on it.
Because it could blow up in so many ways.
Because
that-
yeah, so I think at least one is doing right. So let's do the one simulation. So again, like
Build
just
on that.
put 60 minutes as the interval, record it. So it's gonna record for like 60 minutes.
So what's test complete going to be capturing
Big screenshots. I mean, that's all it can capture. Just screenshots after it's done running. So that time bar at the bottom,
Yeah.
it puts you to an exact second of recording. The car should be in the exact same position. The lights should be in the exact same position. If you're at the same moment in time. So we're going to be controlling the test. We're going to be setting the seed number, setting it to 60, recording it, setting a particular time. You might in each test say, try it at like 7 and then 8 and then 9 and then 10 or something to get like multiple. That's pretty much the only thing we can do with it. And as far as the report numbers, I mean, I've always been told there's a randomized aspect to it, but as long as, like Josh was saying, if we have the seed the same, the report number should match exactly. So it really won't be that hard to.
That's not what my experience has been.
This is what I always get. Like, it should, but it doesn't. And I'm like, why? Why doesn't it?
And the best I got out of Teresa was
Teresa was saying it too.
there's still like a little bit
Still
of,
some random app. Okay.
because
so
of-
we don't know for sure. That's why.
It's like a Saturday Night Live skit. Like, yeah, we're spinning yards. Like one guy like in the back who knows the reality.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then watch it. They go back to another topic. Yeah.
so had that feeling so many times last 1 year, man.
Oh man.
That's the truth.
But I'll let you try.
Well,
Chill.
here's what I was thinking is.
There's a lot of big, upside if you win.
We'll know about these right away
Yeah.
because they'll be blown up on the first test. So what we can do is block off that area
Yeah.
of the, we could set rectangles to, in test complete, right? So that's a solution to get around that for now. As far as testing those values, that might just have to be a manual process because
Yeah, because
there's a random
not
aspect
do
to
it.
it.
Yeah.
We can't. I mean, we could copy them out and then say, is it a certain percentage?
Yeah,
from
I
that to
tried
that?
the range, I tried the
Damn.
percentage, but everybody, every field is gonna be different, so everything's
Yeah.
gotta be custom
Yeah.
range, custom. There's not one
It's
size fits
almost
all.
like you have to look at the ROI on that.
Yeah.
And say our amount of time to program it to look at a particular percentage.
That's where I
threshold.
said. That's when I was told that there's certain things that are constant that
Mhm.
I need to make sure, and I did. And then for the most part, if synchro matches 100%, this is just a 2D simulation of that. So that's where it was. Like, if that matches, there's a very good chance that there's not enough bang for the buck on testing some traffic. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, because now with the code creating
I
it,
see
we
exactly
have
what
changed
you're
so
saying.
much
and
code.
stuff, so
Yeah.
I mean, like-
Now it absolutely becomes imperative.
Oh my god.
Blue car.
What time is it?
Why does it take us so long to record?
Good, it's a big file.
Wow, yeah, it's just gonna make test complete.
You use the shorter file, small files,
Yeah.
record it.
That's the thing is we can't really control that. I guess we could just in the file, in our Excel file, just only
Ethan
put
is
true
online.
on small files.
How come you're online when you're here?
Because my Skype's on.
Huh?
Oh, how
Yeah,
did it just pop
yeah.
on? I think you just came online or something.
No, I'm not using my.
Because look, David just says he popped
David is online. Whoever computer is it? Who's
Mine.
this?
It's mine.
Yeah, I'm offline.
Maybe
Alright, Akash, you need to do what we all just did. Take a little selfie of yourself, change your picture.
that
Yeah,
is
what's
my
going on, man?
that is my previous best.
I can't even identify you.
Today I took a picture of myself.
You did?
Send the picture, I will change.
Let me see. Oh, because what did you have before? Like Trafficware logo?
Whatever.
I put this one.
Nah.
Cola.
Where am I? Go to contacts.
Well, I was gonna say-
go to contacts. Go to contacts.
Oh, you blocked it. Good idea.
No,
What?
show earlier messages.
What are you trying to do?
Go to
It's tab
contacts,
itself, right above your picture.
like right here.
Oh,
Where am I?
here.
You're still.
Wait, I changed mine.
Dude, you changed mine, but you didn't change yours.
No, on mine.
Why did you change yours?
Mine
Hey,
doesn't look like
Hey,
that.
open it up. I'll tell you how to get it refreshed. Open his up.
Open is for them.
His. Just click on his picture. Yeah, and then click on.
Oh, Patrick.
No, no, on Patrick's. Click on that, and then click on his picture on the top. Where? Wait, your thing's screwed up because it should be putting.
Yeah,
his
it
picture
should
on the
put
top
it
one.
come here actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
I changed it.
I saw somebody else's come up. Like,
I saw it actually. Normally it comes.
Oh,
out.
maybe open it like.
hang on, do a full screen because it probably doesn't have space in
Ah,
it.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Synchro studio training.
See if you can do an F5. Here, let me
What?
see.
Wi-Fi.
It doesn't work. The training manual.
You don't have any other picture?
Is it still recording?
Oh yeah.
No, I'm talking about the simulation.
Oh yeah.
Wasting my battery.
You run on battery? I know that.
He runs on Red Bull.
That's a very different. This is still recording.
Oh my.
Yeah, this is not an option for test complete.
Yeah, no.
We'll use the short file.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to use like 1 or 2 intersection files, and that might cut us off on some of the functionality, but this is undoable.
Can you imagine doing this on 5 runs?
So my question is, if it is accurate at the 60-minute point, why wouldn't it be accurate at the 30-minute point?
Because the reason it normally when you count for the queue, it's for the 60 minute for an hour. Because the volumes,
but it would
right?
be 0.5
Volume. Listen, I'm explaining. The
Okay.
volume is for an hour, and if you do it 30 minutes, you can miss out the peak volume. Because the peak volume happens.
Yeah, but we're not concerned with getting an accurate number for our planning purposes. We're interested in making sure that the numbers are the same from version to version. So if we don't hit peak hour factor on 1 or 2 of the files,
Yeah, actually, that's a
That's-
good point.
that's not really
if
that
it's
big of a deal.
7 a.m. to 7:10. It's
Yeah.
7 a.m.
let me
to
just say,
7:10
if it's
every
matching,
day.
exactly, and if it's matching at 0.5 of the volume and 0.5 over here, then we've got what information that we need. You know. The
But
math
what
is working.
happens? The first file is running good for 60 minutes. The second file is something messy coming 60 minutes. How would you guess that?
Wait, is that possible?
How is that? Why not possible? If something is messed up, then your 60-minute data will be different.
Well, what do you mean by? Can you give an example of something that would be messed up at the 60-minute
So
mark?
for an
that
example,
wouldn't
your
be
volume
messed
is messed up, right? So if you take the 60 minute, it will
Mhm.
capture it, and if you take for 5 minutes, maybe it will not capture it very clearly.
up? So because
I'm
it
just
hasn't
trying to
been-
think. Hold on. Let me see.
But how would 1 hour even catch peak hour factor anyways?
What?
Would the peak hour factor get hit with a 60-minute period in every case?
Within 60 minutes, there is a peak hour.
So
right?
that's what it is.
The peak hour is incurring in 60 minutes.
I
I
thought-
don't know. So what happens is when you punch in the number of volume in Synchro,
Yeah.
say you punch in 25, what it means is 25 cars are going to cross that stop line
Volume.
within that next 60 minutes.
Yeah.
So if you capture the first 10,
Uh-huh.
it may the curve, it's not a homogeneous linear distribution.
But I don't care whether I care that it's the same
Pattern,
between.
same pattern.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
the thing is, like, if my base file is, let's say, this is the problem, right? My base file is calculated in the right queue, and basically the sim traffic, the most important data is the queue length, which is your average queue, 95th percentile, 50th percentile. I mean, you don't have 50th percentile. You have average queue, maximum queue, and 95th percentile in sim traffic. So for an example, like my base file has the right, queue length, but if I don't run for 60 minutes, and
The queue never
I am
reaches
not
that
capturing
point.
the data,
Yeah.
which is very important in the report. So how would I know?
We can actually
That's the
before
thing.
the recording we can
Uh-huh.
actually do the seeding of 10 minutes.
And that's
so
another
it doesn't
option.
matter because
Build
the
up
queue
the queue.
builds up. The maximum
Yeah.
queue always builds up.
Well, no. But what
Unless
I'm saying is,
you're maxing out, unless you're actually, your volume is greater than capacity, where you're having stragglers build up,
Mm.
you're never gonna have that.
So how do you make sure your volume is less than capacity in the file?
No, that's a limited use case that I can think of, where if you give a big enough seeding, seeding will have any effect,
Mm.
basically.
Seeding would have impact, of course. It will have impact. So seeding normally the seeding time is the double of the travel time run. Like car from here to reach, if it takes, let's say, 1 minute, so your seed time will be 2 minutes. Multiply 2. That's like a thumb rule,
yeah.
So, but what I'm trying to say, first thing, like how much time would it save to run the sim traffic less over just for 15 minutes, not for an hour?
But we can't really do that, as we're saying, because we're gonna.
You
miss
can
some
do
things.
that, but the thing is, like, if it's saving a lot of time in testing. But I think ideally let's run for 60 minutes, so we don't have
Yeah.
leave the.
It's-
What
it's one of the
what
two.
does that complete to do with, what do you actually wanted to check for? Want to check data?
No, you run this
exactly,
thing.
or-
You checking for the basically. I think sim traffic. The most important thing is the report.
Yeah.
But I will explain you other tools and
I think you
parameters.
can't show us those done reported.
Well, here's the main, like, is the priority on here's your 2 options that we can give you, because we can't do this for every file. So it's either we can
No,
limit.
you should not be doing for every file.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So we can limit it to where we only run this test on small files, but we do it for 60 minutes.
Uh-huh.
Or we can do it to where
Or you just limit this test
we
to one
limit
big
the
file.
amount of time it runs, but we do it on all files. You get me? Which one's better?
What? What was
We
that?
limit the amount of time
that we're actually creating a history that we're seeding.
Instead of 60.
Instead of 60, we can cut that down to 15, but run that on every file. Versus we can run 60 only on like one or two intersection
One
files.
file.
But one or the
Which
other,
one's better?
Which of those options?
which is
will
better
to you?
from a testing standpoint.
Tough question. Very tough question. Tough call. I'm just thinking something. I think I like the second one option because if you run the 15-minute on every file, so there's a higher chance of catching the bug. So how about this? You run that 15-minute on every file, but you run 60 minutes for one file.
We can't.
Yeah, why not?
Well, we'd have to have a separate test that like only runs on one file. Then.
So 60 minutes just for one file. Pick any file, right?
No, can that become an argument?
Oh yeah, that's true.
This is what we designed it for.
That's exactly right. We designed a function argument system exactly for this reason. So yeah.
You know?
So yeah,
So do other file even for 10 minutes.
So actually,
I'm not
that
saying
makes a
15,
lot of
but
sense.
just
The
do
bigger
one.
the file, the lesser the duration.
Huh?
The bigger the
the
file,
bigger the file, that's
the lesser
exactly
the
where I was
duration.
going. We can tune for each test.
No,
how
but that's
long
fine.
the
But what I'm
sequence
trying to say, just like keep it standard 10-15 minutes for any file.
for any file.
But just for one file, do it 60 minutes.
yeah.
But it's not going to be just one intersection running for 60
Right.
minutes. No.
gonna
At
be
least
the
5-10
whole-
intersections should have
the
unstopped.
whole
All the,
thing.
yeah.
that should be fine.
So now this filer's run, guys, and now I'm gonna walk you through.
Here's to good architecture.
Hey, cheers.
Now I'm gonna walk you through all the functionality. So the very first thing before we jump into all menu bars and tool, the very first thing you test the speed of the simulation. So now the simulation has been already recorded. So I'm rerunning. When I do twice, it's a speed. It's 4 times of 1, 8 times, and then you test the reverse speed.
Okay.
So test all this thing, and once you're done with it, one very first thing you test is click on this intersection, and this thing should pop up. So what it's showing, phase 4 and 8 are on, and this is the green time. There's a call on 2 and 6 and 8, and there's no pedestrian call. So this should pop up. So this thing should match with the other one, right? So what you can do, you can select any particular node, and you can select exact this time. This window should match with the other one.
Right.
Is there a
So
way to
before-
actually specify
Huh?
the time on the timeline?
Yeah,
Like
that's a good
7.
question.
Yeah, you can specify. So it should match.
Can you do it?
You just stop it. Here.
Yeah, pause it, but
Pause it, and then you.
can you move it to like 705?
Can you put this one?
Is it this
I think this is the one.
No.
No, this one. Okay, this one.
Can you? Is there a?
That's good enough. Yeah. Can you work?
Can you put the like right now the time is 7:01, right?
Yeah, 5 seconds.
If I want to actually move it to exactly 7 hours, 5 minutes, and 00 seconds.
Yeah, you can
Not
do it
using
here.
a scroll.
Not using
Well, you
scroll.
know, I mean,
No, there's no way.
well, in the test complete, the pixels are going to be exact. So if we move the mouse from this coordinate to that coordinate, it doesn't really matter that we're exactly on 7 minutes. If we're on 7:01:55,
Okay.
it'll do it for both.
Okay.
You see what I mean? Because that control's going to be the exact same.
Yeah, but it's actually like so many frames. By being like off by even a little bit,
Yeah, but-
it's gonna actually be totally different.
But the
frame
mouse
is gonna
coordinates,
be-
but the mouse coordinates are pixels,
yeah, but
so it won't be off by anything.
okay. How much?
If it moved over 50 pixels, it's going to move that control where you clicked at 50 pixels, so it's going to end up the exact same time. You get me?
Yeah.
How would it
with you.
differ? I guess is my point. How
So,
could it possibly
how many pixels do you think this range is, and how many frames do you think for a 1 hour duration? It's like 60 into
Well,
3,600
but
seconds.
but also the
With the
division,
simulation.
will be exactly the same.
Yeah.
So you will not be able to land on certain actual frames because they'll be hidden under divisibility.
Exactly my
But
point.
that's going to be the same because we have a 60-minute bar that's this big. It's
So
going to be exactly the same
even
every run.
if the delta is actually even 1 or 2
Today is
frames,
Wednesday or Thursday?
it's gonna make a difference.
Thursday?
True, but you'd have
Tomorrow
to be
is
like
Friday?
7 o'clock to 8:01 a.m. for
Yeah.
that to happen.
Yeah,
And I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna keep moving.
All right.
we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we
So
can
we'll
figure it out
figure out
later.
later. So now you just like verify this intersection detail at any particular time, but also you can verify. Let's say if I click on the car number, so at any particular time you just select the same the car number, right? It's like a 793. You can see the vehicle ID. This parameter should match. So you just select 1 or 2 car, And then when this thing is verified, then you go to the file, the most important thing, in which is create report, and you should be verifying all these report. So when you should verify your simulation summary, queuing information, actuator timing, and performance report, right? And then you can select all these options, so it should be verified. In multi-run, the only way you can do it when you're recording multi-runs, right? So right now we did not do multi-runs, we did the single runs. Let's cover all the single run functionality. So this thing is, the create report has been verified between two files. Then you go print window, printer setup and exit. It's not important, just make sure these are popping up and working. And then you go to the animation, exactly the same thing what we have here, which is a start. So if I hit on start, it just started, and if I hit pause it, and then if I say record, it's record the new simulation. It's a multi simulation. Check for error. You should see, like, you know, if there's any error, it should confirm with the other file too.
You're saying we're not doing anything with record? There's not
No,
a
I'm
test
saying
on
it's the
record?
same thing. You will doing it, but also like these are the same functionality you'll be checking, but these are the same exactly. These
Oh, we've already done that in another test.
What test? You haven't done any
No, I'm
simulation.
saying earlier in the video you've already specified this. Or have you?
I don't think so. I've specified.
Oh.
And how would we test
Yeah.
it?
So are you
So record is like this record is same as this record. When you do it, it's recording the simulation again, a fresh simulation. When I say record multi-run, we will talk about it later. Let me come back to it later. Now check for errors. I explain it to you, and we're gonna come back, create 3D graphic and SSMA export later. Under graphics, show graphic statistics. So when you go to the show graphic statistics, it actually tells you delay and vehicle. So if I click on delay and vehicle, I say hit show, and then it shows this graphic statistics, if you can see it. It shows. Oh, it's recording. Why is it recording? Oh, it has to be recorded, I think, to show.
It'll be tomorrow.
So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna cut down just to make it fast, the option interval and volume. I'm gonna keep it, let's say, 10 seconds. Can you hit 10? And now if I go to graphics, show graphic statistics, and let's say if I say delay and vehicle, and I hit show. So to show static graphics, the MOE data for interval must be recorded. Click OK to record data. Can you give me this? Keep it.
So a lot of those depend on that flag being set before the recording happens. So
Yeah.
we're in the test going to have to go in and set all those flags that we're going to need before we do the initial recording.
Which
So
flag?
The statistics require certain flags to be, like MOE has to be set before the
Yeah.
recording.
So for
we can
graphic
get that.
statistics, it has to be.
Yeah.
It has to set up. So right now, see what it does. I mean, I don't know, like if it can be in test complete or not, but you can see it like this graphic statistics should be matching with other file. So you can see it like a delay per vehicle 20 to 35 is this one, you know. So these are the graphic statistics. So you have many graphic statistics. If you go show statistic graphic, you can select a percent time of block and say show, you know.
Right.
So it shows the percent time of block. I don't know what it's showing.
Maybe it toggled it off.
I don't think
No,
so.
no.
It is broken.
Oh, there's something.
Yeah, they're little
Where here? I
turquoise
think this is the
square.
one. Yeah, this is the percent time of block, right?
Oh,
Blocking
I
queue all
see.
intervals, so it's showing 11 to 5%. So it's showing this thing, right? And then you go like these are different vehicle denied, like say average speed, right? Show average speed, showing average speed. So this is a graphic statistics, right? And then you said no graphics, so it's turn all the graphic off. Then you go to the option which is like under map setting, use. So these are the options which is more like a graphic, like how the node number looks like, stop bars, and vehicles, right? So it should match between one file and the other file. And then under options, then you go interval and volume, which I already explained what to do it here when you want to run seed timing and you interval and volume, and everything stays same with no changes. Drive parameters, these are the parameters should match between one file and the second file. And then database access, you go to it and then you can read the volume from UTDF data file and UTDF timing. So I think it's more related to, because I think you guys haven't done for the synchro, right?
We have.
You have?
Mhm.
So it's
So
probably
you're saying load those same files here and make sure that they load?
so it should read it, should be able to read it, UTDF file.
We'll just make sure to put the sim traffic
Yeah.
tests above the UTDF write tests. Right?
Then you have CI options, which is your I think it's a virtual controller. I have to look into it. Let me come back to it. For now, just ignore it. How to test it, this thing, because it's a different controller type and different. I don't know if you really need to test this one or not. And then video and recorder parameters is something you just like record a video. Probably it's a manual. So once you say hit OK, and then it's record the video. So it's recording it under this one. So just make sure it's creating the video. So that's your option. Under help is the same thing what we did in synchro. Just make sure you do the same thing. Tool wise, it's very simple. We don't have many toolbar in SimTraffic. So this is your create report. We're gonna talk about 3D later. This is your same intersection. This is your 3D viewer starter. We're gonna talk about it later. That's your pan, zoom in, zoom out, scale, and that's your simulation while playing. So simulation while it's playing means like it will run the simulation, but it will show you play. But the thing is, like, if you do simulation while playing, it does not create the report, you know. So it's not very important, you know. And just like it's a stop recording or stop playing, and this is for your erase history. That's your record simulation multi-record, right? And this you create a video. So once you set the parameter video recorder parameters, you just hit this thing and it's recording, so it shows. And then if you go back to the folder, this is the videos created, right? So and then it just once you click again, it's a recording complete. So that's what SimTraffic is about. Now let's talk about few things. So I explain it to you. Let's talk about 3D viewer, right? So what I'm gonna do, SSMEM export, it's a functionality which not been really used by many users, but right now currently it's working. It's in working condition. But to test it, you have to download another tool from another website. So I will say it right now, just ignore it, you know, but don't like I don't see it's breaking. I don't see like if you're making any changes it should be breaking. But SSMEM export, it's a third-party tool offered by FHWA website. And then what it does, when you go animate, where was it? Animate and SSME export, and then it does export it. I'm trying to see where is exported. And I think it exported. I have to see in the user guide how you create SSME export. If you go to the user guide, it tells you exactly. So maybe if you can test it, the only thing you can test it, or it could be manual. Go to the user guide. It will tell you exactly how to create that SSAM export file. Just make sure it's creating that file. You know, that's it.
I mean, what's in the file?
It's another party software. I think it's more about SSME.
But our Delphi code creates what's in that file.
Yeah.
We code cleaned every single piece of the Delphi code, so there could be a chance we did break something.
So we could do a binary compare with two files, right? Or like using WinCompare, maybe?
I mean, so why can't we just do the same thing like we did with the
Yeah.
CSV files? Just we export it both and we just compare what's the data that's in it. Just to make sure the data.
So this is create SSMA export, right? In SimTraffic, there's an animate SMA export. If this option is checked, SimTraffic creates .trj file during the simulation recording. This file describes the position of the vehicle throughout the simulation. So it's describing every single vehicle parameter. Where is it going, right?
You think it's binary?
It is binary file compatible with FHWS surrogate safety assessment model.
We
This
could do a
is
binary compare.
SSM can be used to analyze the frequency of narrowly averted vehicle-to-vehicle collisions. So that's what it is.
It may,
But you know
but
what?
there may be random stuff. in
Random,
that.
right?
It's
Exactly
gonna
what I'm
be
thinking.
different. It's not going to be the same.
If it's 5.6 and 5.7, binary is gonna.
Why
not
would it
tell
be
you.
5.6 or 5.7? Oh, you're saying because of this unknown random
Yeah.
thing? Yeah.
I've seen it.
So let's see. I mean, I explain it. It's in the user guide. Now do the multi-run. Say the multi-run is become tricky. So let's see if I do this is the multi-run here, or it's the same function from here, right? Record multi-run. So if I do multi-run, it asks me how many number of runs. Let's say we do it. Let's say we do 3, right? So now we're doing each run for 10 seconds. So it's gonna take very fast, right? Comparatively. It says starting seed number is 1. That's fine.
But
Now
we
hit
increase
OK.
it every time.
Huh?
Does it go from 1 to 2 to 3?
So actually, yeah. So I'm just trying to see. 1 second. So in this, I'm gonna explain once it will create 3 history file, how to pull the report for multi-run. So you have to include all 3 history file and pull the multi-run summary file.
Does it just stack the runs on top of each other in the report? Or
No,
does
it
put
will
side by
parallelly side by side, and then it average it out.
No,
too.
actually, it's
almost
one
kinda
after another.
It almost kind of seems like that's all we need to do, just the one multi-run. That'll
Yeah.
cover
Everything.
everything.
But it's basically, yeah, you're running like three separate like SimTraffics, one next to each other.
Yeah, exactly. That makes sense.
Because SimTraffic is a statistic tool, right? So there's some randomness and all.
Sure. There's some randomness from seed to seed.
I feel like it takes a seed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think it's taking randomly.
No, it's not random based.
Yeah, because I think it's a recording run 3
Yeah.
and run
it's
1 is a
about-
seed 1.
So maybe that's a bug.
If
There
it
is
is,
some randomness
then it's
outside of the seed.
Yeah.
There's probably a bug.
But what I was told is there's like, so here's how it works is, say there's 60 vehicles supposed to cross in the 60 minutes. Because of the cycles not starting at the, like, think of the way actuated cycles work. If you have more vehicles on one approach, it gives you more green on this, and it balances it. On an average, it's gonna be like 60 cars are gonna go through, but it won't guarantee which cycle. So if it has 1 minute cycles and there's 60 cycles, it's an average of 1 car per cycle. But it could be like 2 or 3 and 0, 0.
Right, based on the demand.
So
It's based on the demand.
basically, what I'm saying is there could be a sampling error. That randomness is basically off of sampling error.
I don't think that you can have.
That's what I was told is because depending on where your
But
cycles
where's the randomness
start,
coming from? Because in a computer, obviously with a computer system,
Right.
you're working off of CPU ticks and memory.
Right.
And there's no way that you can create a sampling error unless you have a crash or you're calling the randomized engine.
That's how I see it.
You
but-
think there's some sort of crash in the back end that's causing some
There's
time
some-
to be lost in the timer?
There's
that
some
would
pure
make sense.
randomness.
No, so the randomness I think is in the network is coming from the seeding. So like let's say
Right, but we're talking about the
But-
same seed.
Exactly.
no,
If
there
you-
is no randomness. It matches. This matches 100%.
So we
Let's actually verify that. Because
No, I already verified it.
Okay.
If seed number is same, the results are same.
That's what I'm saying. 'cause
Exactly.
It's like it would be hard.
There's
to
no
make it
randomness,
different
yeah.
Unless you called random.
if
or unless
there is randomness, it's a bug.
it's a bug.
No,
that's
then
sort of
it's a
where I was
bug.
going.
But I already verified. Even I was working, the same seed number always generate the
Produces
same
the same
results.
results.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now I created three runs, right? I ran for 3 times. So now to generate a multiple run, now click on it, and as I already recorded it, I don't have to record it, right? So I will say, okay, I wanna see a queue information, but you can select all the option, and I will say okay, intersection by movement. I will hit preview, and then these are the history file which were created. So to create the report, you have to select all three files, 1, 2, and 3. This was original history file. So, but these are the history file has different seed number, right?
Okay.
And once I select all three files, I just hit open, and then you can see it. You can see it. Intersection number 1, intersection number 2, queue and blocking report. Hold on, zoom in 50%, right? Yeah. What's up? So that's your intersection 1, and then your intersection 2. That's your intersection 3, and that's your intersection 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So we need to compare this file, the whole thing.
Yeah. Hold on, go back and let's select one intersection.
Maybe it does an average.
It's doing average right now. Looks like.
Oh, it averages across all the history files?
Yeah, but there is a way actually. Let me see. So if you say simulation summary, so right now it's averaging it out, right? If I click simulation summary, let's see what happens. Preview. This mouse is annoying, man. So now it's showing 1, 2, 3 simulation number. You see on top of it, run number.
Oh, okay. That's what we're.
So now, and it's averaged out in the end. I think this mouse is dying.
That's
So,
always, yeah, that's always.
so now it gives you the interval number 0, interval 1 number. It tells you
So we just save this off
run
as
number,
text,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Huh?
We're
This
just gonna
file
save
should
this
be
off as text
exactly-
and compare it.
Exactly, yeah, you just pull this thing.
Yep.
So I explained like how the multi-run works, right?
Okay.
And then I think there's another functionality here. I think it's like a save text.
It's
And
the
then
same
you should be
report.
able to save the
Yeah,
file
I
as a
use
text.
that a lot.
Huh?
I use that on Synchro a lot.
Yeah, and then print setup is the same fine. That's fine. And then header and graphics is fine.
Yeah.
I think yeah, this is it. This is it.
There's really not much to sim traffic.
It's not
It-
much
It,
in
looks
sim
more
traffic,
complicated than
yes.
it is.
Yeah, it's not much.
It's just a matter of getting the recording to be exact on every picture.
Yeah. So another thing we forgot to cover 3D.
Yeah, 3D
So
viewer.
let's first try turn the say last 3D file will get during simulation recording. You hit say OK, right? Now the
are
3D
we-
is on.
3D viewer is
So once-
even more simpler.
But I mean, are we have?
Oh,
are
you
we
don't. Your
doing-
3D viewer is not activated.
I don't think we're doing automatic. I don't think we're gonna be doing automatic QA on the 3D viewer right now, are we? That's
Nothing
for another.
changed.
I
I
think
think
we
it's,
do that
huh?
for another.
Nothing changed on 3D viewer.
Yeah.
I think forget
That's
the
not code.
automatic
That's not
QA
code.
art because the thing is like we don't have any report. It's all visualization.
Yeah.
So like David, he can just like make sure 3D viewer is running and just make sure just play with the tool. It's working. Like you should be able to add models and all.
Right.
And
We
if you
could
don't,
do-
if you don't know how to use
could
3D
do a
viewer, I
binary
will
comparison of
suggest
output
attend a
file.
webinar. I have a webinar on.
That's a good point.
That's
December
as far as we
11th.
could possibly go.
Yeah,
Any basically
like
any
in
change
the
in that
morning.
file will almost guarantee it.
Around 11 to
Yeah.
12.
Yeah.
I have a webinar,
As long
half an
as
hour,
the
so it will
inputs
give you
are the
give you a
same,
good
there's
idea how to
nothing
use
changed
3D
on the
viewer.
program.
Okay, cool.
I will send you the link. Just send
Our,
me
our
your
testing
remind
of
me.
3D viewers should be limited to what this thing produces.
Yeah, so
It's
I
almost
think
like,
this is it.
All right.
3D viewer is at a point where even if we want to, we can't
Do anything? Yeah. And
See this like do you see that
MFC.
the helicopter in this one better works better than
Because you're,
Synchro.
but this because you're just zoomed in. That's all.
No, let's see. Check that. Oh yeah, you're right.
It zooms in to the extent that you're zoomed in right now.
Yeah, I see.
But we could just make our own. We're gonna just have to make our own select intersection
Yeah,
for this
yeah.
one, right? Or do we even need to? Yeah, I think we have to zoom down enough to be able to capture the cars
I'm already doing it for all my tests.
in sim traffic.
No, in Synchro.
So that actually brings up a good point. Like we're gonna have to probably start the record, and then we're gonna have to go to some point in time and then select each intersection and take a picture.
Yeah.
Right. So because we can't just zoom in, we can't just keep the whole map out there. Right. The car is not drawn.
Yeah.
And the
for all these queue lengths,
That's gonna have to be.
each intersection is gonna have to be. queue
This
length
is cool,
snapshot.
man. Like it shows you where's the average queue
Yeah.
on each lane.
It's amazing.
What's your 95%? What's your
It's almost like Google Maps 10 years ago. 10 years before.
Well, whatever
was
these
like-
people, they were smart. They
it was like
created this
Yahoo Maps.
functionality back then.
That's true.
That's
They're
what I'm
pretty
saying.
I agree with you.
smart.
10 years before Google Maps is
That was
where
quite-
where they are
Yeah.
today.
The only thing is like they did not progress after that.
Well, no,
Yeah,
the
they
progression
progressed.
stopped.
We really are the Microsoft of the traffic world.
Yeah, but the graphics. Are
If they kept
so-
evolving,
You
if
can
they have
stop it.
kept evolving, they would have.
Are you sure we're not doing anything else? Should I stop it,
Yeah.
Patrick?
Yeah, stop it.
Yeah.
They would have made like a